The picturesque town of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin is the backdrop for one of the biggest motorsports events in the world. For the 4th year, the Sports Car Club of America National Championship Runoffs returns to Road America. Beautiful, fast, and treacherous, this track puts a premium on horsepower, aerodynamics, and bravery. A single mistake can end in disaster, but a single moment of inspiration can turn a contender into a champion. The 49th annual SCCA Runoffs is next on Speedcast TV.
We are ready to go racing in H production. Oh, he turned him. Working the inside is Lee Neffenegger.
He halved the difference. Oh, Spicer trying to hold position.
But he's too much speed. He's wide. Guerrerian trying to do it around the outside.
There, one more for the guys up in the booth.
Welcome back, everybody, to our coverage here on SpeedcastTV.com of the 49th annual running of the Sports Car Club of America's National Championship Runoffs, presented in HD in high definition by Volkswagen. And that means John Bizignano looks even prettier. Biz?
Well, just real quickly, as you see these cars going out, you'll see some of these type of air scoops on the right-hand side of the car. If they're on the right-hand side of the car, that's a Z-Tech motor. Those are 2 liters, putting out about 200 horsepower. That restrictor just simply keeps the car more fresh, keeps the engine more fresh. You can go an entire season without a rebuild. Now, if the air scoop is on the other side of the car, those are the Pinto engines, and they are fully wide open as far as the ram air effect, but of course that wears the engine a little bit harder. You have to build those engines about 2 or 3 times throughout the season. So what the SCCA is trying to do is move away from the Pinto engines, get the Z-Tech engines out there. It's unbelievable. They can go 8 races, 10 races without a rebuild. That's one of the ways to keep the cost down in a very neat class.
And it is a great class. Formula Continental. They are obviously, Dorsey, they don't have the speed, the power of an Atlantic or other classes above it, but it is a tremendous training ground to start to feel aerodynamic effect, wings and the like, running in a very competitive formula category.
These cars have a great deal of agility. I mean, they have pretty skinny tires, and you just heard Biz talk about the 2 different engines that you have to deal with there. They have aerodynamics, like you're talking about, Greg, that you can tune the car to. These cars are extremely competitive and very, very agile cars. You're going to see big corner speeds here without question.
And you'll notice very different wing configurations. Some of the guys running the standard 2-tier with the big split with the high wing up about roll bar height. Other guys running a very low double wing setup that's almost gearbox height. And that, of course, is the uniqueness of Road America coming into play.
The other thing on the engine that Biz was talking about, the new engine, of course, the Z-Tech is a current production type of an engine, and the old Pinto motors he was talking about was a 2-liter Ford Pinto motor. Well, those haven't been made in many, many years. Parts are becoming to be, scarce.
Right.
I love the fact that you can take the Z-Tech and run a season with it, run an entire season without a rebuild, because rebuilds cost you money, no doubt about that. And it's a higher tech engine, and it's so far showing to be a really good alternative.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup as the field is already out on the pace lap. On the pole, the gentleman who won the June sprints. He also won the Central Division, which makes him now Super Sweep eligible. Gerald Skazilski in the rotary systems, Arms Up Motorsports, Van Diemen, that blue number 31. Perennial winner here, number of championships, 4 gold medals in this category, qualified second. He was second at the sprints as well, the number 81 of Nicky Coelho out of Dousman, Wisconsin. 3 wins in Central Division this year. The PortFoundations.com, Ralph Furman Racing, the Furman RFR 2000. And in the third qualified spot, the guy who finished third at the sprints, the number 4, Brian Bellardi, who is a former medal winner. He won his medal. He was a bronze medal at Heartland Park in 2008 out of Grafton, Wisconsin. 3 wins this year. And the Hoosier Arms Up Motorsports, Van Diemen. Qualified fourth, the 05 of Peter Lesueur out of St. Charles, Illinois. A win and 3 podiums in Central Division this year. This is his 6th start in his QSQ Hoosier Tire, Van Diemen. Qualified fifth, number 9, a veteran, J.R. Smart, who was 4th at the sprints, by the way, out of Fitchburg, Wisconsin, out of Milwaukee region. 4 podiums this way in Central Division. The Smart Motors Hurricane Hannah, Van Diemen. Qualified 6th, 03, Tim Walsh out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. in 2 wins this year as he went on to 5th in the Central Division points. The Afterburner Race Car Parts at Van Diemen, his 4th runoff start. Qualified 7th, number 52, Robert Allaire out of Lithia, Florida, the Central Florida region driver. 3 wins on his way to 2nd in the Southeastern Division this year with 6 podiums. This is his first start in his Voss Martini LTD Motorsports Van Diemen. Qualified 8th, number 45, Chuck Moran out of Oakton, Virginia. 9 wins this year on his way to the championship in the SC division. His 14th runoff start, but his best finish was 8th last year. And then the 5th row, number 9 in the qualifying order, number 17. He was 5th at the June Sprints. Jim Victor out of Davenport, Iowa. 3 podiums this way in the Sendiv Chase. The Smith Barney Arms Up Motorsports entry, his 7th runoff start, And completing the field in 10th, number 25, Mike Manning. 7 wins on his way to the championship in the Northern Pacific Division. Out of Dinuba, California, runs San Francisco region, the Cypress Lane Racing Dauntless Van Diemen RF01. And that field is a little light maybe in terms of entry, Dorsey, but very deep in talent.
Indeed, and they got to watch our pole sitter. Gerald Sokolsky is undefeated. He's gone 7 wins out of 7 starts looking for his first national championship. He was runner-up last year, but looks to be the guy to beat this time.
Without a doubt, he has just been on form this year. The defending champion, Revere Grace, is not here, and so it'll be a different champion to be sure. And everybody, Sports Car Magazine has picked Gerald Siskulski as well. So he's definitely the favorite, but you can never count out Nicky Coelho in Formula Continental.
Now, Nicky's got experience, no doubt about it. He knows how to win. He's done it before, too. But the times say, and all of the sessions say, that our pole sitter is a hard guy, going to be a hard guy to beat here today.
On pole by 8/10, the only guy under the track record. And he's running that lower wing configuration on the back of the car, and Coelho running that higher wing, a little more drag, but a little more grip. When you get in these long corners on a cool day like today, that might be the answer.
It is a cool day, like you just said, Greg, no doubt. They're going to have to watch this first lap. Somebody in the back row trying to be aggressive. It's going to be a tenuous first lap till they get some temp in these tires.
And that guy moved right on the green. I was watching the flagger, and he did not go early. That was the deal. And when it's green in SCCA club racing around the track. And Coelho trying to sweep the outside of Siskulski, and that is important to get in front of Gerald and then be able to just keep him behind you. That's the one thing. And with that extra little bit of aero, Dorsey, you'd think Coelho's tires might come in a little bit sooner, and as a result, he needs to make hay while the sun shines, or doesn't.
I think that aggression at the start is his years of experience in this class. You know, he was willing to commit to the speed in turn 1. He knew his car was going to stick, but that one caught me off guard. I didn't think that Gerald would let that happen. Look here now as everybody starts to form up, get a draft going down the straightaway into the brake zone for turn 5. All pretty orderly. These tires still not quite up to temperature or up to pressure yet. These open wheel cars, you have to be pretty cognizant of where the other guy's tires are. If you hit wheel to wheel, the second car, the car in the back, almost always will launch into a bad situation.
And the interesting thing, you can see the difference. Almost everybody these days at the front are running Van Diemens, and you can see that blue car of Siskulski, very slippery, well tried and tested kind of layout of that chassis and the like. You look at the Ralph Furman, the RFR entry, a little bit more bulbous in spots. It's just got a little bit more going on to it, and they were really hoping that Coelho and RJ Victor were hoping that was going to really give them a little bit of an advantage, and so far it really hasn't.
Boy, Nicky Coelho really surprising everybody. Got that big jump at the start. He looks wanting to get a championship out of this. He's taken a pretty good lead already.
Well, you know, he didn't get the championship last year. For Nicky, his last win was in 09 right here, so he is hungry.
Well, I tell you, this straightaway going down the Canada corner isn't straight. And for these cars, the 05 and the car behind them, they almost had it coming together. In fact, the second car had to go in the grass to avoid contact. That's a scary situation when you're going as fast as these guys are going.
And open wheel, as you point out, where those wheels are just out there. That was Peter Lesueur in the 05, working through and completing our first lap. Actually completing our second lap as they come up the hill, and it continues to be Nicky Coelho bringing them through and running about a second quicker than Siskulski right there. Good battle here.
That was a perfect slipstream. Come up behind, carried up all momentum up the hill, waited until he crested the hill, then made his pop out, drives right by.
And then just tucks back in. That is the number 45 of Chuck Moran, getting around the 05 of Peter Lesueur. Those are the two guys that were duking it out previously. And in front of them, you got Robert Allaire and Brian Bellardi.
And it was Chuck that had that scary moment. I didn't get the car numbered first, but he's got the low wing setup. And he was actually out into the grass area, headed toward the Canada corner, which is a pretty scary deal.
And that low wing obviously gives you better straight line speed. You don't have that big wind planted up there in the airstream creating drag, but you do give up a little grip, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And right now you see Gerald Sokolsky, like you said, our pole sitter, starting to pull in that lead that Nicky Coelho got at the start. And I really think that was all a matter of Nicky's experience in these cars. He just was willing to commit a little bit more.
Your third place car there, Robert Allaire, up from 7th to 3rd, Dorsey. What a great opening lap that he has put together, putting himself in contention for a medal here. And the bigger story there is this is the first time in the runoffs.
We talked about changing conditions too. I mean, as this weekend has progressed, the weather's changed quite drastically. Today, completely overcast, no sun, very cool day in the 50s at best.
Yeah.
So depending on how these cars were set up, you talked about that at the beginning of the show. There's a lot of adjustability in these cars. So, I mean, you can really dial yourself in or dial yourself out. They're temperamental.
Yep, you've got all the suspension adjustments, certainly, and brake adjustments and tire pressures and all that, but then you've got the wing options that you can put on. And at this track, you generally try and trim out as much as you can, but you've got to have some grip because the carousel, and certainly the kink, you need stick.
Yeah, high drag, low drag. I mean, the low drag is really quick down the straightaway, but on a cool day like this, the track might not be offering up the grip that you might get on a better day, but doesn't seem to be a factor so far, but this is early in the run.
Yeah, the black 52 of Allaire there in front of a former medalist, Brian Bellardi, as they climb up the hill. This is the battle for that final podium spot. As was sort of expected when you took a look at the times, Nicky Coelho was a second and a half quicker than Bellardi. That was second to third in qualifying. And Soskolski was 8/10 quicker than Coelho. So you figured that those lead two, as we see, may have opened it up a little bit. And here's this battle behind again. That's Lesueur trying to come back around Moran, and that time not working.
Moran tried to break the draft as he came up the straightaway. He moved off to the far driver's right and then came back online. And Lesueur then tried to pop him on the outside. Didn't know what quite was going on there. These do get a pole, though, down this long straightaways. No doubt about the draft.
Absolutely. Here is first at you is Allaire and Bellardi. That's the battle for third. Behind them, the battle for fifth between the 05 of Lesueur and the 45 of Moran.
But that's your lead duo, and they are now pretty tight together.
Yep.
Like maybe it could be set up, too, on our pole sitter's car. Maybe that car now coming in, getting heat in the tires and pressure in the tires, starting to make up some ground.
As you pointed out, we're a ways, a lot of racing yet to go here. So is Soskolski, do you think, maybe just tucking in and just more than willing to follow for a little while?
Well, I think he got surprised at the start for sure. Maybe that car wasn't quite set for cold tires, not to the same degree as Nicky Coelho's is. But right now, the speed's there.
And again, you've got that Furman up front. You've got the Van Diemen behind. You can see the different nose configurations on those cars. And obviously different mechanics underneath you, if you will, in terms of the geometry on some of the suspension components.
They don't build a lot of these chassis anymore. These are an older chassis. Again, this was a very popular class, in the 80s and so forth. But now that they've got the new engine with the Z-Tech, maybe they'll start building some more cars again. It's hard to say. But a lot of the innovation of these cars is done per team in-house. They're trying these aero things and all by themselves.
And you can do that. You can do your own modifications on the cars, do some little work on it. The base chassis, let's hope it was just a wheel dropped and not a car dropped. It looks like everybody has continued.
That's down in Canada Corner, and you see that big plume of smoke. It's not usually a good thing.
Yeah, we saw, was it Peter Gallagher in the FE race over there have a wild ride and yet come back and win it. So you could have your moment down there. But exiting Canada Corner, you're trying to carry speed through there. It's easy to do, and you don't have this huge amount of paved runoff like you do at 1.
Yeah, they've got that gravel trap that just pulls you into it if you make a mistake down there.
And a couple of Gale workers that are down there going, come on in. We want to play ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, it's easy to get it wrong down there, no question about that. It's a slippery surface because so many people do drop wheels. They bring all that dirt up on the racetrack, and then every lap you go down there, it's a different set of circumstances.
There you see the margin. Soskolski taking a peek. But you could also see the margin between these two guys back to Bellardi in third now, who's gone around Robert Allaire. And it's about 7.5 seconds officially by start-finish as they're up into turn 6.
Gerald's starting to have some thoughts about taking that lead back away from Nicky Coelho. I mean, he's got the car under him now. It looks like he's pretty happy with the setup, and aggression starting to show.
Well, and you test things a little, don't you? You take a look. You'll try and make a move just to see is that going to work. Oh, we got somebody gone around.
Down in 5, he's had contact with the wall.
That's Tim Walsh.
He's got a wing askew on the nose.
Oh, he sure does.
So it looks like he's drugged that down the wall. Probably got locked up in the brake zone and run it down the front of the wall.
Looked like he's pulled the steering wheel off. He's getting out. So this is going to definitely be a full course caution. I don't see any way around that with him sitting there. That's a very tenuous area.
Gerald Sokolsky will like that yellow if it comes out. I would think he would anyway. We'll see if it holds true though. If his car's not really good on the colder tires.
Yeah, the restart.
They can probably move that car without putting a full course yellow out because it's where it's at. There's an opening in the guardrail right there.
That's true. That's true. The workers, the EV workers as well. The track, Road America Track Safety might be able to make that happen.
Yeah, it looked like it was rollable. It's just taking the wing off of it. So they can push it back through the hole in the wall and keep this race going.
Boy, Soskolski got a nice run out of 14,
he's got a great run. Watch this. He's up in the slipstream. Look at it pull him in. He makes that pop. He's going to go right on by. Not much you can do about it. You can see the draft there. It just actually sucked him right up to the gearbox. And there's your pass for the lead.
Now we'll see what Coelho has, if anything, to be able to respond. Down through 2. Into 3, and he was pretty quick here, but from 3 to 5. So we'll see what Coelho.
Oh, dropped the wheels there. You got to watch that. So many cars have done that over the weekend. It's digging a big hole there, big enough to knock the suspension off these because they don't have much ride height. There's not a before you drop that wheel in and tear the suspension off. Boy,
Nicky is close. Nicky's going to take a look. He's going to try and go down the inside. Soskolski's going to go deep, and Nicky tucks back in. He couldn't pass there because of the yellow anyway.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You saw the truck there administering to the car. It's a no passing zone. Of course, that wasn't Nicky's intention at first, I think.
No, I think Nicky was more.
I think he saw it.
Yeah, because that happened behind them, so they wouldn't have known that incident was there until they came upon the flag. So I think he was definitely thinking pass.
Yeah, he had a run going, and he was going to try to make a move, and then when he popped out down there, he saw the yellow flag and knew that he couldn't pass.
Through turn 8 now into that long carousel where you would think Coelho would be pretty strong.
That's where the agility of these cars really shows in this long carousel. Heads down that hill, falls off camber. And these cars stay gripped. You see those bigger, heavier cars, man, they're just fighting like crazy to stay on the racetrack.
And through the kink.
Easy flat in these cars. You hear no lift whatsoever.
And down through Kettle Bottoms into Canada Corner.
I should say easy flat through the kink sitting where I'm at.
Yeah. It's
a little wiggle right there.
Oh, that may have been enough to see if Coelho's going to be able to do anything. Nice job again by the that white truck, the Road America safety crew, and Coelho's through.
Coelho got him. Yeah, that was a mistake. You saw right there that Gerald made. Got that wiggle in the middle of the corner and had to get out of the throttle. And if you don't carry full throttle, the other guy's going to get you. It's a very competitive class. It really comes down to who can get to full throttle earliest in the corner is going to win the drag race.
And that time Coelho got 14 perfectly. He didn't lose that run. So now Soskolski's picking up a little toe, but it's a little late down the straight, and Nicky ought to be okay, huh?
I just sit back there for this lap and regroup.
Yep.
I think he's the faster car. You know, Joe's got the faster of the two cars, and now that he's seen he can make that pass, there's some confidence with that.
Yep. But Nicky has to feel pretty good too that he was able to run quick enough to force Gerald into a little mistake.
Yeah, Gerald definitely made that mistake. It was a forced error, no doubt. So, and that's all it takes. I mean, one little bobble mid corner where you got to get out of the throttle, and if the other guy gets a clean exit, he's going to drive by you.
Velarde now third and in that final medal position right now. Allaire and Moran round out your top 5. But this is a compelling battle right here. Two very, very talented drivers. Soskolski's best, he was a silver medalist last year, took second last year in his 4th runoff start this year. Would like to step up, obviously, but Coelho would like to regain the top spot of the podium.
Nicky Coelho, you know, a real veteran, not of only of this class, but he's run multiple classes and has won multiple times. So,
well, he started off in Spec Miata, which is one of those momentum classes where you learn how to drive and conserve momentum, and that obviously is working very well for him as he climbed into these cars and strung together 4 championships.
Yeah, these are momentum cars too, even though they're open wheel cars. I mean, the fact that they are a spec, more or less a spec class, and they have the same horsepower to weight ratio makes it the same thing. You got to really stay on the momentum. You saw that, just that little bobble before, what happened. And
Here's
you never
where it
want to make
happened.
that mistake here, because another reason, you got to climb the hill. Any mistake made when you're headed uphill is really magnified.
And that's why 14 is so crucial, because you've got a huge hill right after that. Huh?
Yeah, you just cannot make a mistake in this corner here. This is the most important corner on the track, more than likely, because you got to climb this huge hill, and that's a long, long straightaway to start onto it slowly.
Qualifying times, just to give you an update, a 2:10. A 2:10.2 was the pole time that Soskolski turned, a 2:12 flat by Coelho. So they're definitely off of those pole speeds right now.
Nah, it's not worth even doing that.
Nope.
He could just be posturing, though. Coelho with a great run through that corner. You saw he used up all the road on the exit, didn't slide at all. Just kept it short of a slide.
That's one thing Nicky is very adept at, is you don't see big, massive slides out of him ever. He understands that when you're sliding, you're scrubbing, and really knows how to put that together. So as he continues to hang on to a somewhat tenuous lead right now over Gerald Soskolski, we're going to step away for just a moment, but a lot more to come here in Formula Continental at the 49th running of SCCA's National Championship Runoffs as they exit 5 and climb to 6. We'll be right back. This portion of the SCCA Runoffs is being brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, and by Blackmagic Car Care Products.
The Mazda 3, a top safety pick with uncompromised performance. And now it's even more fuel efficient with available SkyActiv technology. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Now get the Mazda 3 with 0.9% APR for a limited term.
Need help?
Yeah. Well, my ride's been losing power and gas mileage, and I've been thinking about grabbing...
That's thinking with your motorhead. Gummout products are backed by science, real science, so they help improve performance, increase fuel efficiency, and protect key engine parts. It's not clean until it's Gummout clean. Bring it in. Think with your motorhead. Choose Gummout, available at these fine retailers.
Okay, it's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You treat the freeway on-ramp like your own personal racetrack, and you love the smell of burning rubber. Well, good news, Speed Junkie. The Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and 2,000 events across the country, the SCCA has all the wheel-spinning, engine-revving excitement you can handle. Want to dance on the edge of control? In SCCA Solo, you'll learn the blacktop two-step with an army of cones trying to trip you up. If slinging mud is your thing, check out SCCA Rallycross, where power slides and rooster tails are the name of the game. And if wheel-to-wheel competition is what you crave, SCCA Club Racing lets you chase the checkered flag on America's toughest racetracks. Join the Sports Car Club of America today and feed your obsession.
Welcome back, and if you just watched that commercial, I'll tell you, it's not just about road racing, which is certainly the high point of SCCA competition, but you've got those options of soloing, and you can learn so much, and a lot of the drivers that have a lot of success in road racing cut their teeth in solo and autocross, but you can also rallycross if you like a little bit off-road mixed in with your pavement. Lots to do in the Sports Car Club of America, and we are watching a great national championship battle, Coelho and Soskolski, or Nicky and Jerry.
There you go. It's a lot easier deal. They could be getting some rallycross experience too if they don't get one of these corners right.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen
right
that happen
now, though,
before.
I think Soskolski is happy to sit back there. I think he's already learned the lesson that he can make a pass. I think he's just driving right now, running off some laps. No need to get all worked up yet. Quite a lot time left in this race at lap 7 right now.
All right, but he got a run this time, and maybe at this point, and was that just seeing Coelho making some sort of gesture there, or was he just adjusting a visor or a tear-off maybe?
I can't tell. It was almost like, you got me.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, as the lead driver, if you don't get out that corner well, you know you're going to get passed.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's not the last lap, and it's not the checkered flag, so it's not drama yet either. So sometimes you just go, all right,
whatever, you got me. But we have seen Coelho hound Soskolski into an error already in this race, so it's not like at this point, as you pointed out, Nick is not going to panic.
No, he's not going to panic. He's got too much experience for that. And Gerald made that mistake once. I doubt he'll make it again.
Still Bilardi in third, by the way. Allaire in fourth, Moran in fifth. No change there. Down into 5.
A little defensive line, kind of middle of the road, in case he had to defend.
That's dissuasive, right?
Well, it's a pain in the butt. Is what it is.
When you're pursuing, yeah. Up and out of 6. Tricky corner, that. Ooh, boy, did Soskolski got a nice run through that and has opened up. That's about the biggest lead we've seen.
Drop back a little bit here.
Meanwhile, here comes some battling a little bit deeper in the pack. So they head down into, that is the 45 of Moran, the 05 of Lesueur, and J.R. Smart.
Who's this, the 52? Is
Robert that's Robert Allaire, who had been in third earlier, Doris. He was running in fourth at the time, and now he gathers up. He's still in fourth, but that is Moran et al. that are coming after him.
That was up at turn 6, that corner you were talking about, Greg, the tricky corner where he got it wrong. Oh, a little squealing tire means he's in there deep too.
Well, that certainly has turned this battle for fourth into an interesting one, hasn't it?
Well, with that spin, he was offline a little bit. He might have picked up a little rubber, and now he's going to fight to try to get rid of that rubber and get his grip back and not lose 4 positions looking out the rearview mirror.
Exactly. In British, of course, that's clag.
It is clag, yes. That's what Mr. Hobbs would say is clag, which is all of the things that you find on the outside of racetracks.
That sticks to a hot race tire, and
some of which you don't want to know.
Takes away, yeah, good point. Takes away. Wow, interesting line there.
That's, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to try this.
That was the 45 of Moran. Yeah, and that's certainly going to make him slow off that turn. You think maybe he thought that Lesueur was a little closer than he was?
Yeah, or maybe just had a bobble in the brake zone and just got defensive right away.
Well, he ran wide there. He did again, Lesueur. But check it, that was Moran running wide this time behind
He'll get
Robert
past
Allaire.
That one. Popped a little early, knew it.
Yep.
Goes back in the draft, and we'll do it again down here where it counts.
And back in again.
Boy, just losing all his momentum.
Wow. That was Moran going around Allaire.
That stacked everybody up right there.
It sure did.
That was a bit miscue. I think they lost track of where they were, each of them on the racetrack, and all of them were fearing the worst.
So that's going to put Moran in front of Allaire, then Lesueur and Smart still running in position. This is, again, folks, the battle for fourth behind Gerald, Nick, and Brian.
That's defensive posture down into the brake zone.
Well, I would think that, I mean, Allaire has been certainly shown that he's capable of running some awfully impressive laps. He just had that spin. But we take a look at the best laps that these guys are turning. Allaire has turned into a 2:14 flat. Moran's best was a 2:15.1. Lesueur's a 2:14.6. The problem for the guys up front that are, in terms of catching those guys up front, Soskolski has turned to 2:11.6, Coelho a 2:11.9, and Bilardi a 2:13.8. But clearly those two guys out front right now are just in a class of their own, Doris.
Yeah, 2 to 3 seconds a lap they're pulling on these guys. Part of that is because they haven't really been messing each other up all that much. Oh, little slide there.
Boy, this is a great day. And again, that unique line.
Sure
Whoa!
that could get
big wiggle, and that's going to cost him tons of momentum. That was Moran.
Again, that's headed uphill out of Canada Corner where you don't want to lose that momentum. It also throws up a huge cloud of dust that most guys don't want to go driving into.
Yeah, that got Moran. You see he missed the apex down there in 14 by a good couple of feet. And here comes Allaire.
It's easy to overdrive a corner on one of these cars because of the skinny tires. Also, you get in a little bit too hot. This is a good 3-car draft. Look at that third-place car trying to find a way.
He's looking at
He's waving now.
Yeah, who's going to be my best guy to go with here? Try to make it 3 abreast. No!
That's not going to work.
That's not going to work. And how did he miss those 2 guys?
Was extremely fortunate not to go back into those cars.
That was huge. That was a number 9 at J.R. Smart.
That could have launched that other car so easy.
Oh, yeah.
He's more than likely going to be stuck in the gravel. If he is, we'll get a full course caution because he's right in the target zone in turn 1.
Yep, and Allaire now has gone back in the lead, but Lesueur has snuck around Moran as well in that battle for 4th.
That was a scary moment.
That was
very fortunate not to have collected the guys with him.
Yeah, and that's given Allaire here this little bit of a break.
No full course caution out yet. So maybe the corner workers out there, those are light cars, they can push him up out of the gravel.
Might be able
a heavy car.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, no. They got the machinery out there. Now, I can't imagine that they're not going to put a yellow out with that big thing sitting there.
Well, the one thing with having a relatively small field of 10 cars is if you find a big gap, it would be
2
enough
miles
room
away.
to get out there to do that, yeah. So let's take a look at what happened here. Watch that 3rd car of J.R. Smart.
J.R. Smart was wanting to find a way by. He goes over. He gets pinched really badly. This was lucky not to make contact. If he'd have got that wheel inside of the car, it would have been moon launch time.
Very, very fortunate indeed. So they are getting JR removed, and that has allowed now Allaire. Okay, so he has continued. JR has. So it's Moran. Allaire now in front of Moran in 4th, 5th, and Lesueur sitting in 6th. And there's JR, who's obviously got junk on his tires and probably up underneath on inlets and the like, and he's got to be a little bit careful for a while.
Well, like you said, with a small field of 10 cars, you know, if they're past that incident level, it's 4.5 miles back to it per lap. So getting some safety equipment out quickly, dispatched, and get him out of there. Certainly could have.
And here we go.
Worse.
Yeah, certainly down into 5. There is your race leader. Siskulski was still fending off Nick Coelho.
I think he's got things well in hand right now. Once he got the car underneath him, beginning of the race certainly it didn't respond the way he wanted. But after making the one mistake, I think he's got it hooked up good now.
Well, the thing is, with that lower drag configuration, he's going to be so quick in a straight line that unless Coelho can get up underneath him and mess things up a little bit, it's going to be tough to catch.
Oh yeah, for sure. That car showed the speed in qualifying too. To have that kind of a lead over Nicky, it shows a lot of speed.
We are working lap 12 of 13, so next time by it should be the last lap. And there goes Siskulski putting JR down a lap.
Well,
getting him in between.
You always worry about that pass on the entry to the kink on a car that just had been in the gravel trap. You don't know what kind of grip he's got, or does he know I'm even coming?
Yeah. And the thing is that these guys didn't know he was in the gravel trap because it happened behind him, so you really don't know.
Yeah, Nicky's close, but I don't think that's going to be enough to pull much draft off of. Not with that low wing setup anyway.
Yeah,
that's pretty slippery.
That's all a matter of he needs a little bit of help from Siskulski in terms of a slight bobble of some sort to bring him back into this. This should be, we complete lap 12, working 13, last lap.
Now it's desperation time. If you got anything that you haven't shown, it's time to show it.
Now remember that 3rd car in your frame is J.R. Smart down a lap now.
Yeah, he's just maintaining running out his race after spinning up there in 1.
Brian Bellardi, number 4, a very comfortable 3rd at this stage for that final medal.
Ooh. Little Coelho gets a little loose on the exit, doesn't help his cause any.
Down through the moraine sweep, as they call it. Dropping down very abruptly. The cameras just doesn't give you quite how abrupt that drop off is down into 5, does it?
One of the most fun corners to go because you're going so doggone fast. Then you head downhill. Then you got to stop. And it's exhilarating for sure, this racetrack.
And race that's coming up in a minute, GT1, you're weighing down a lot of weight.
Yeah,
a lot of speed.
And that causes a whole different problem braking on these downhill runs. Here's another good example right here down into 8. It's a pretty good downhill run. All the hard brake zones here at this racetrack are on downhill runs, so it's tough on the brake.
Well, right now, unless something goes awry with Siskulski, it looks like he is on his way to his first gold medal after a silver last year.
Coelho's car just sounded bad going through the carousel, like something's dragging on the ground. Heard it going. So I don't know if something broke but it made some terrible sounds as he entered the carousel.
Well, see if we can pick that sound up here.
He's losing ground too.
Last time into 12 for Siskulski.
There it is right there.
Yep.
Something dragging.
You think that's dragging, or is that maybe a rough engine note?
Yeah, we'll hear it here when it comes through.
Because he is just dropping off like crazy.
Broke.
So Siskulski up the hill, heading toward the checkered flag. And again, last year, silver here at the Runoffs, and this year he brings home the gold. Nicky Coelho adds another medal to his great collection in this category.
Perfect
with a silver.
Perfect season for Gerald Siskulski.
And it's our first super sweep, I think, winner.
First super sweep, and 8 for 8 for the year. Yeah, there's something broken on Nicky's car.
Boy, look at this one. It's not done yet. Moran has run a layer right back down again. Here comes Bilardi, picks up third and a bronze medal. Watching this one. Boy, these guys are racing hard. Dancing up the hill. Looks like Allaire's got it. Oh, look at this, yeah. Huge run by Moran.
He pops, it might be enough. It is.
He got him. What a finish. Chuck Moran sneaking around LeSueur right at the end. That was a great last lap. Moran had an issue and dropped back a couple of spots and augured his way back up into fifth. Allaire is fourth, Moran fifth, and LeSueur thought he had that fifth place locked up. Not quite, as Moran able to get the run and make it happen.
I think for Nick Coelho, it was really lucky that was the last lap, because I really think something on his car broke.
I think you're right, yeah.
The other thing it might be, if it's dragging, is it could have a real slow puncture, and he's losing ride height, and it's just starting to bang on the ground.
And Coelho did get his best lap within 4/10 of Siskulski, but just not enough, obviously. And boy, Siskulski's fastest lap was the last lap.
Saving the best for the end.
That's right.
He looked really good after he got by the second time. That car looked like it was really working well.
Yeah, he really did.
I think it was a cold tire issue early on. It just didn't have grip right away. Because once it did, it looked as dominant on the racetrack as it did on the piece of paper we look at.
That was a great run, and again, here on SpeedcastTV.com, presented in HD by Volkswagen. Big thanks to VW for helping us with these great images that are being produced here. And there is your national champion. Not bad. Get a silver one year and come back and put it on pole. Basically not lose all year.
And yeah, that's what I was about to say. Have a completely perfect, flawless run from beginning of year all the way through. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, truly, that is a very special season. And heading into pit lane, where a gold medal awaits, and an interview from our John Bizignano. Be interesting to find out from Coelho exactly what was going on with his car there in that last lap.
I agree. Biz can find out for us. It sounded horrible.
And you notice when something evolves, it tends to spread even down into the club ranks, because you look at the way that wing is mounted. Instead of the old way up underneath, now it's that suspended deal, which makes that underside of the wing, which actually makes the most part of the downforce all the more effective. Coelho tucks in behind him.
Clever, those Brits.
Yeah, they are indeed. And then Bilardi. Siskulski from Medina, Minnesota, Coelho from Dousman, Wisconsin, and Brian Bilardi from Grafton, Wisconsin. So home track knowledge, playing it up well here. Biz, your champion is climbing out.
Well, he is climbing out. Actually, they're going to take away a little bit of the race car, give him some more room to get up. I got to say, this has been one tremendous drive by this young man. Joe, we're going to give you time to get your helmet off and take a breath there. A little bit of mirror damage here. This is kind of unusual right here, is that his mirror has had a little bit of an incident somewhere in the race. Joe, congratulations on a great drive. Let's get the gold medal on you and the proper hats and so forth. I've got to ask you, what about that opening lap?
Going into one, Nicky had a really nice run. I tried to time it right, and he did a little bit better job, and kind of was there and won, and I didn't want to contest it right then and there, so let him go and settled in, and he ran a great race. And
it seemed like your car was set up for straight line speed. My gosh, you were drafting him down the straightaway so well you could come by him just at the start finish line and then carry on into a nice pass into turn one.
Yeah, his car's a little bit bigger in the front end, and arms up has this set up perfectly, and it's a rocket ship in a straight, or corners everywhere. It's
a lot of pressure from behind too. You know, you weren't always looking straight in front of you. You had a whole lot of mirror full of black car.
Yeah, and unfortunately my mirror turned in.
I hate to say, I have never seen this. We have to show this. Is this because you love staring at yourself during a race? I have never quite seen that happen. Is that because you're just so fast in a straight line you turned your mirrors on yourself?
Yeah, exactly. Now it turned in, so it's kind of unnerving. I didn't know if he was there or not, but.
Now we have to congratulate you on a gold medal and a trifecta. Is that correct?
Yep. We did the super sweep and triple crown and the whole thing.
What a bunch of success this year. The crew must have done a great job. You have certainly set this car up correctly. Once you got that last lead, you just pulled away. It was your championship to win. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay, well, let's go back to our second place man who also knows what it's like to lead around here. We're going to take a look at the back of his car. Before we come on back here to the back of your car with me just for there was something dragging back here. Were you aware, Nicky, that something's on the ground back here? No. This side back here is quite a bit lower than the other. As you were coming by, there was a lot of dragging noise and no sparks or anything. But let me ask you, is it easier to lead or follow? You had both choices going on many times. What happened on turn one? I had to ask their leader about that also.
Right, yeah, I mean, I prefer to lead.
Yeah. Okay.
A little, better air, better vision. Yeah, we went into turn one. It seemed like I had the corner, so I took it. Yeah, then we had a pretty good run. He was catching me, and then passed me going into one. And he went off in Canada corner, and that's how I got him back for the.
Seemed like your car was set up for great handling.
Yeah, the Furman car works awesome in the corners. We were struggling a little bit down the long straightaways.
Is that not where you want to be the fastest, is on the straightaways? Though it had to be a little rough to see him drive by you. Great drafting technique, but still to just go by you quite easily by the start-finish line.
Right, yeah, that's the downside to a safer car. It's wider, it's got more, head protection and stuff like that, and hopefully the class will evolve and get with the current times and safe as fast.
There you go, Nicky. Congratulations on a great silver medal. Our third place driver, I hate to say it, but you looked a little lonely out there most of this race, but a nice steady drive.
Well, thanks. I was, in the beginning I was a little dicey, but, I found myself by myself just running laps, and, that gets to be a little bit boring, but I'll definitely take a podium position.
Oh, absolutely. I got to ask you now, what did those two guys in front of you have that you want to get in this chassis for next year?
Well, my teammate actually won the race, so it's pretty much the driver. So I hate to admit that.
More practice.
Yeah.
More practice then, Brian. Over next season, how many national races will you do trying to get back here for next year?
Well, I'm going to do as many as I can. My biggest problem is I have an Indy Lights team and a USF 2000 team that.
So you have nothing else to do?
No, not at all. And two young kids, so I have a lot of time to race.
Congratulations on a great bronze medal.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Everyone's happy down here, guys.
Those two pro teams, and still as often as he can comes out and does some driving. But talk about great honesty. He said it was my teammate that won, so it's got to be the driver.
Yeah, there you have it. Nicholas Coelho, what Biz was showing us back there was a diffuser, an aerodynamic device at the back that looks like the leading edge of it came loose, and that's what we heard through those last couple laps.
Well, when the leading edge comes loose, that's not getting the air where you want it, so that handling had to just go off.
He lost a lot of rear downforce when that happens, for sure.
Here's a look at the unofficial results. Siskulski, Coelho, and Belardi, your medalists. And Allaire, Moran, Lesueur put on some absolutely stellar racing back there in that battle for fourth. Victor is seventh, and he also was running one of the RFR, the Furman chassis. Then Mike Manning and eighth, J.R. Smart after his spinning off over into the gravel in turn 9, and then Tim Walsh rounding out the field. There is the victory circle. Celebrations unfolding. That wraps up our coverage here on SpeedcastTV.com, presented in HD by VW of the Formula Continental National Championship for the Sports Car Club of America's 49th running of the SCCA Runoffs at Road America. It has been a great race, to be sure, and we're very excited to be back with you here on Speedcast TV for this season of racing, and we'll have a lot more racing yet to come up here at Road America. Lots to happen here on this second of 4 days of racing for the National Championships. This portion of the SCCA Runoffs is being brought to you by Mazda, Zoom Zoom, and by Blackmagic Car Care Products.
The Mazda 3, a top safety pick with uncompromised performance. And now it's even more fuel efficient with available SCCA technology. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Now get the Mazda 3 with 0.9% APR for a limited term.
Need help?
Yeah. Well, my ride's been losing power and gas mileage, and I've been thinking about grabbing...
That's thinking with your motorhead. Gum-out products are backed by science, real science, so they help improve performance, increase fuel efficiency, and protect key engine parts. It's not clean until it's gum-out clean. Bring it in. Think with your motorhead. Choose Gum-out, available at these fine retailers.
Okay, it's time to face facts. You're a gearhead. You treat the freeway on-ramp like your own personal racetrack, and you love the smell of burning rubber. Well, good news, Speed Junkie. The Sports Car Club of America wants you. With 40,000 members and 2,000 events across the country, the SCCA has all the wheel-spinning, engine-revving excitement you can handle. Want to dance on the edge of control? In SCCA Solo, you'll learn the blacktop two-step with an army of cones trying to trip you up. If slinging mud is your thing, check out SCCA Rallycross, where power slides and rooster tails are the name of the game. And if wheel-to-wheel competition is what you crave, SCCA Club Racing lets you chase the checkered flag on America's toughest racetracks. Join the Sports Car Club of America today and feed your obsession.